Delegation. Delegation is something which is not taught in management schools, and it's not a part of almost any curriculum anywhere in the world. So, how do you delegate? How do you assign work to someone else and get the work done through someone else? This is the essence of being a manager. The difference between being a manager and an executive is essentially that the manager does not perhaps do the work himself or herself, but is actually passing this on to the other person. One of the very early thumb rules that I learned from delegation, which I love to share, is that if you're very confident at your work, if you have the skill sets to do it yourself, those are the tasks that you should delegate because you can step in and handle them yourself if needed. You have the skill sets to monitor things remotely from afar, from above, from below, because you've got that area well covered. If you do not have that skill sets, then it's ideal to have that under your direct control so that you can learn, understand, and be learn more and be able to develop yourself. This might seem counterintuitive because if you can't do it, then why would you take it on yourself? You would find the specialist to do that. But over a period of time in your career, this is an insight which I have, which I think you should think about very seriously. So to repeat that, so if you have the skills and you have the abilities and you understand it, those are the tasks that you delegate, and what you don't know and which you have to do it as a part of your job portfolio is best to get more hands-on, and that becomes your career development learning curve. I'm talking to you about this as an individual because the organization approach to this could differ, and they may take the more counterintuitive or rather intuitive view that if you don't know, then you shouldn't be assigned to it. But any progress, any creativity, any new ventures, any new business, any new learning always has this element. Now, what does the manager do if you look at it in the direction? So the three key areas is on the right side, you have accountability is required for discharge of responsibility and exercise of authority. So that the job role will essentially give the manager the accountability and the authority that is to control all the necessary human, material, and financial resources, and the responsibility for performance of physical, mental, and our social duties which commemorate the activity required. So now these are the jobs that the manager has to assign to a subordinate. It's a cycle where at every level this is designated one layer down to the next level. So it's an ongoing process of delegation. So these are the three key elements. Now, how do you control that? There are two essential ways of controlling this. One is a trust-based system of control and an antitrust way of controlling this. So let's look at the trust-based. So this being clockwise, so when you trust, you encourage participation, consensus, confidence from the people you're delegating this. The subordinate to whom you're delegating shows initiative, dedication, and openness. This results in accomplishment, pride, communications, leading to confirmation of trust, and you have the continuation of the trust cycle when you're delegating work. This is difficult, but essentially, this is the only way, the best way to go forward. And if you look at theory X and theory Y, this is the essence of theory Y as opposed to theory X, which is an antitrust. So this is an anti-clockwise, where if you distrust the person require over micromanagement, over bearing on that, then you encourage over control, you bring in autocratic styles, you bring in doubt, which results in the subordinate showing apathy, resentment, and uncertainty, resulting in failure, neglect, secrecy, and confirmation of your distrust. So this becomes a huge bias. So this is the essence of theory X, where you are monitoring, auditing, controlling, checking. So there is an antitrust inherent failure built in when you look at antitrust. So the suggestion is to look at trust. So when you look at trust, we see the positive clockwise cycle of activity. So this is the essence of delegation. So as a manager, when you delegate your tasks, however the tasks that you have on hand, and you break that up amongst your subordinates, people who are reporting to you, so you are assigning the authority to them, giving them the responsibility, and holding them accountable. But the way you do that would have to look at the trust that we looked at, the trust cycle again, or the antitrust, and that's a behavioral aspect that you have to look at in your delegation. So, in an essence, this is the way I look at how you can become good at delegation.